It was late. I'd been driving for over 10 hours, running a load of pine down through New Hampshire, trying to make it back to Allentown. I've been hauling logs across the northeast most of my adult life, Penn State to the White Mountains and back. It's the kind of route that makes you hard, makes you tired, and on nights like this, makes you desperate. The weather had taken a turn about 2 hours back, fog rolling in heavy like wet wool draped over the mountains, and black ice creeping across the asphalt like veins. I was dangerously close to running out of drive time. DOT regulations don't care how close you are to home. The clock hits 0 and you stop, or you risk fines, or worse, getting fired. That's when I made the call. I knew a shortcut, Clear Creek Road. Most guys avoid it. It's narrow, winding, not made for 18-wheelers. And yeah, sure, there are stories. Rumours about strange lights, missing people, ghost trucks. But I'd driven it before, nothing ever happened. Until last night. The road cut into the forest like a scar, barely wide enough for me to squeeze through. Trees leaned in close, branches clawing at the rig. I was white-knuckling the wheel when I saw something I'd never seen on Clear Creek before. A neon sign flickering through the trees. Mel's Meals, open 23 hours a day. The hell, it was a diner. Out here, not marked on my GPS, not listed anywhere, just squatting in the dark like it had been there forever. A rusted old pickup and another semi were already parked outside, and the smell, it wafted across the lot like warm grease and meat and something sweet underneath. I hadn't eaten in hours. I figured, if another driver's here, it can't be that weird. I pulled in, hissing the air brakes, grabbed my oversized travel mug, and checked the clock on my dash at 7:13 p.m. No way. It had to be closer to 10, maybe later. The sky was pitch black. I shrugged it off. Truck clocks are always glitching, and stepped out into the cold. That's when I noticed the other truck. It looked wrong. Not old like vintage, but old like it had been abandoned, then resurrected. Rusted, dented, blacked out logo. The cab door creaked open, and a man stepped out, or more like dropped down. He was wearing a full body suit. Tight, rubbery, like it belonged in a sci-fi flick, and in his gloved hand was something metallic. It caught the light, looked like a cattle prod. Without a word, he climbed into the back of his trailer. Then came the screams, muffled inhuman shrieks that clawed their way out into the night, followed by the sharp crackle of electricity and the smell of singed hair and something worse. Chains rattled. Something pounded from inside the trailer like it was trying to break free. Then silence. The man emerged, calm as could be, wiped the prod, locked the trailer, and climbed back into his cab. He never even looked at me. I should have left. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but I couldn't. If I drove even another minute over my limit, the ELD in my truck would rat me out and my boss would hang me for it. So I swallowed my nerves, straightened my jacket, and headed inside the diner. A little bell jingled as I stepped into Mel's Meals. The warmth hit me first, thick artificial heat like the inside of a broken microwave. The smell was stronger now, a mix of frying oil, cinnamon, and something else, coppery, almost metallic. The place looked frozen in time. Red vinyl booths, checkered floors, a jukebox, wheezing out an off-key version of A Little Less Conversation. The lights buzzed overhead with a sickly yellow hue, casting long shadows that moved just a little too much. Only 2 people inside, a waitress, blonde, perky, blowing pink bubblegum, and a hunched man behind the serving window, just a silhouette in the kitchen haze. "Evening, Hoss! Welcome to Mel's Meals! I'm Cindy!" the waitress chirped, voice too cheerful for this empty dead-hour shift. She grabbed a menu and motioned me to a booth near the window. I sat, my back instinctively to the wall. She handed me the menu, but I stared at it blankly. There was only one item, house special. "That's it?" I asked. She popped her gum. "We like it to keep it simple, sugar." I was too tired to argue. "Sure, house special, sweet tea if you got it." "You got it, darling. First time here?" "Yeah, never seen this place before," she winked. "Not everyone does." Before I could reply, the bell on the door jingled again. A man walked in, cowboy boots, long coat, outback hat. Looked like he'd stepped out of a 70s western and hadn't changed since. He glanced at me, eyes hidden under the brim, and walked silently to the counter. "Coffee," he said, voice dry like the old wood. I nodded toward him, half joking. "With a get-up like that, you sure stand out." He didn't answer. I looked out the window, still just 2 trucks, no car, no sign of where he came from. "Enjoy some hash browns while we cook your order," Cindy said, sliding a plate in front of me. They were arranged in the shape of a smiley face. Cute. Kinda creepy. I was trying to relax when the cook pushed through the kitchen doors, holding a steaming metal platter. His apron was stained, and his tattooed forearm read Mel. "You, Mel?" I asked. He chuckled. "Nah, Mel's my sister. She handed this place down to Mum. Do you, get a lot of traffic out here?" He shrugged. "Not as much anymore. People talk. Rumours spread." He placed the platter in front of me, the meat still sizzling. It smelled incredible, smoky, savoury, but something off. Like pork, but not quite. I hesitated. That's when the cowboy stood up and walked over. He gripped my shoulder hard. "You don't want to be here," he said, voice low. I laughed nervously. "Excuse me?" He leaned in, eyes locked on the wall behind the counter. The clock, still 7:13. "Pick up your keys. Walk out that door, now." "What are you—" Before I could finish, the door chimed again. The man in the bodysuit was back. He paced the entryway, glancing at me, then at Cindy, who met him halfway. They spoke in whispers, too low to hear. But their expressions weren't friendly. Snippets of the conversation leaked over the jukebox. "Came too early. Shipment's not ready. We're running low." Then I heard it again. From outside, from the truck, screams, snarling, chains. I dropped my fork. It hit the floor with a clatter. Cindy turned with a frozen smile. "Don't mind us, sugar. Just work talk." She motioned the bodysuit man back outside. And that's when I saw them. 3 others came from the back hallway, dressed like handlers, each holding chains and long poles like cattle prods. Together, they moved toward the trailer. But they weren't loading anything in. They were unloading. They brought it through the back entrance of the diner. Whatever it was, it moved, struggled, growled. The kitchen doors swung shut again. A moment later, buzz! The sound of a bone saw, grinding, tearing, wet. I stood up so fast I nearly knocked over the booth. Cindy didn't even blink. The cook stepped out again, blood on his apron this time. His face had a sheen of sweat, or was it something else? The cowboy looked at me finally. His voice shook. "Too late now. You'll see it. Just don't let it see you." I stumbled out of the booth, my legs trembling. Something was shrieking behind the kitchen doors. A sound so primal, so wrong, it rattled the bones in my chest. It was like hearing a pig being slaughtered underwater. Wet, muffled, desperate. I made a move toward the exit, but the cowboy stopped me with just a glance. His hand hovered near his jacket over something I couldn't see. His voice was low. "If you open that door, it'll know. You have to wait for the window," I whispered. "What window?" But he didn't answer. Instead, he stared past me, toward the kitchen. The cook stepped out again. This time there was no attempt at subtlety. His apron was soaked, dripping. His forearms gleamed wet red. His hands were shaking, but his face was blissful. He looked high. "Special's almost ready," he muttered. I couldn't take it anymore. I bolted for the door. Cindy moved to stop me, but the cowboy was faster. He stepped in her path and she froze. Not in fear, like she was under command, like he had some hold over her. "Go," he told me. I didn't wait. I shoved the door open and ran into the parking lot. The freezing air hit me like a slap. My boots skidded on gravel as I sprinted for my truck. Then I made the mistake of looking back. The trailer was open again. Inside, lit only by the faint red glow of the diner sign, I saw it. A shape, chained, twisting. It was massive, at least 10 feet long, curled in on itself like a spider. Its skin was grey, leathery, and peeled back in some places like it had molted or been skinned. Bone-like ridges jutted from its spine. Its hands, or claws, were human in shape but wrong. Too many knuckles, too many nails, and its face. Oh God, it had a face, human almost. A man's face stretched across a skull not built to hold it. Eyes too large, teeth like nails driven into its gums. But its expression, that was the worst part. It was begging, like it knew it shouldn't exist. Like it wanted me to kill it. I threw myself into the cab and slammed the door shut. My hands trembled as I turned the key. My headlights flicked on, flooding the lot, and in that instant, the thing snapped its head toward me. It screamed, a sound that shattered every nerve in my body. The chain strained. Behind it, I saw the cook and the handlers rushing to shut the trailer doors, cattle prods raised, one of them already bleeding down the side of their face. I didn't wait to see what happened next. I floored the pedal, air brakes hissing as I tore down the road, my rig groaning under the sudden force. I didn't stop until I hit the glow of the next state highway. I didn't slow down until the sky started to lighten, and even then, I never really stopped. It's been 2 days, I haven't eaten, haven't slept. Every time I close my eyes, I hear the buzz of the saw, smell the meat, see that face. I called my dispatcher and lied, told him I got delayed by weather, told him I'll make up the hours. I didn't mention the diner, I don't think it's on any map, but I can still smell it, that coppery sweetness. So if you're ever driving through New Hampshire and you see a neon sign flicker out of the forest that reads, Mel's Meals, open 23 hours a day, keep driving. No matter how tired you are, how hungry, how curious, don't stop, because what they're cooking isn't dead yet.